Hey, so we're gonna do split stitch fill today on this little fish here. Looks kind of like a clownfish, right? But I'm gonna make mine purple. Why not? So this is a little silly because you'll probably remember when we did long and short stitch, which is kind of split stitch fill, right? Um, so to make it a little bit different, I'm just gonna make sure that I really make these lines distinct so I don't have blending between the two colors. If you want that, like if you want to practice more of a blending approach, some long and short stitch, go for it. If you just want to practice filling a shape with split stitch, you can follow with me. As far as stitch direction, I'm just gonna go like this. Yeah, that's what's happening here. So I'm starting with like what am I gonna do? Why don't we do like a little kind of outline first, actually? I got 2 strands. You would get more practice using fewer. It's a pretty tiny shape for considering each of these little segments. All right, so there's an outline down one side, outline down. Did I split that stitch? I really need to go get some of those cheater glasses. I was gonna order some because like my husband's worked for me, but we can't see well enough to see if they say what strength they are. We're both like, can't see her. Is that the strength? What's that? What's the Just our son to help us out. Or we can just go to the drugstore and do it ourselves. Alright. Filling. Thought the backstitch fill was tedious. Well, are you in for a treat? So how am I deciding like where to fill? I don't know. I did the outlines and I'm just kind of like moving towards the center. Again, we're gonna have some kind of compensation because at this point I'm not even. This is just gonna be a stitch. I can't even get to the front of the shape anymore because it was very triangular-ish, I guess you could call it. I wouldn't usually try to add this many stitches in here. It's just like we're supposed to be practicing split stitch. I feel like I'm cheating if I just put in a stitch that doesn't get split. So we can have it split something up here and come down. So why would we choose to fill a fish with split stitch? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I just needed to pick something. What would I use if I didn't have to use split stitch? I'd probably do satin stitch because I don't know if this texture really does anything for fishy hair. I don't know. Maybe it'll look better when we're done. Oops. Oh, getting tangled on my dark purple. So when oh no, this is the joys of using 2 different colors, huh? Okay, and 2 different needles. Okay, so when I like to use split stitch to fill, it's when I have a shape that's like clearly too long in some places to use a satin stitch. So for like the beach day pattern, I have a cooler on it, and so I use split stitch to fill in the cooler. So this is kind of awkward. I'm actually going to stop there and we'll just do another row. So whenever I'm trying to fill something where I don't really want a ton of texture, my first choice is always going to be satin stitch, and then I go to split stitch fill after that if I can't use satin. Obviously, if you use even fewer strands than this, it's going to be a lot more smooth. And I'm covering over my little fin there. The plan was just to outline it later, but you could always make it a different color. You know, it could work. Like if you want to do like an actual clownfish with like the clownfish coloring, it's got like this more stripes than this. But you could do, if you stitched this direction instead, that might be kind of interesting because it has like the bands of, is it bands of black between the orange and white, or is, I can't picture it in my head right now. I wonder how that would look. It's usually when I stitch like an animal, I try to, go with the length of it as far as stitch direction. But when you're talking about a striped animal, it could be interesting to go opposite and work with the stripes instead of the length. Do I have a hole here? I do have a hole. Let me just fill that in. There we go. I like to poke from below. It's kind of scary because it's like, oh my god, look at all the holes. Don't do it too much unless you want to do a lot of work, but it's a good way to see where your fabric's showing through and where you didn't make your rows tight enough. I know I have that little gap right there that's like really bugging me. We're gonna have to use like do an outline, fill it in. I bet you guys have the point by now, huh? Etc., etc. Here on my my pattern, I did him these two colors, and then he's a lot smaller, so it's kind of puffy, but I just did an outline with the single ply here. He's cute. Okay, well, keep going, have fun, do the best you can, and relax, enjoy the process, etc., etc. You got this.